It's you.
Uh-oh.
Who do you mean?
You. The red-haired ghost.
Me? A ghost?
My husband is very much alive. I've known him since he was 12 years old.
But he drowned. By God, you drowned. 24 years ago. On the white ship. My poor, poor son. My Jacques.
His name was Jacques.
Jacques Cherbourg.
Jack. Cherbourg.
Yeah. So you want to think about your upcoming journey on the ship to Normandy. You followed the coachwoman's advice and ran into a dead end in Barfleur. Baby fell ill, but you both managed to survive. That's a terrifying statement. Can the baby die? Or is that just being like, oh, hooray, you survived? Already complained about this. Helped another pilgrim along the way of St. James. You snuck into Rashid's sacred archive. You stole the slingshot. Given the slingshot. I asked and was heavily requested to do it. Found Jack in Paris, of course. Decided to go back to Kingsbridge. You saved a jongleur. I think I had to do that. You met Jack's grandmother, finally learned about the fate of his father. So, wait, hang on. So had he already met Ellen? Like, I'm confused about this point. Had he already met Ellen and then left to go back to France and then just didn't come back because he was on the white ship? I assume that's what that means. Chapter 16. Home. Kingsbridge.
So much has grown. But there are no roots, no herbs.
Yeah. And the roof collapsed.
What are you looking at, Jonathan?
The garden is in disorder. I want it to be right again, but I don't know how to do it.
Before I became prior, I thought the same about Kingsbridge.
Well, what did you do?
I cleaned up.
Where do we start?
Pluck weeds. I would start with the weeds, I think, because then you can do everything else. Because if you loosen the soil, then you kind of have the weeds just throughout the soil. And if you plant the seed, then you may be plucking what you want. So pluck the weeds.
Some plants are weeds and must go before we can plant new seeds.
What are weeds?
They take away what the other plants need to grow. Light, water, room.
What do we do?
Pluck them. They look a lot like every other plant, so you need to learn how to tell them apart. Here, you see those? They're called wood sorrel. Let's pluck only those for now.
I'll do it.
If you insist. Make sure to pull out all of the thin roots.
And now what do I do?
Asking whether he's ready to plant the seed. Alright, loosen the soil. I mean, I don't know what asking him will do.
For plants to take root, the soil must be loose and fertile.
So, may I dig now? Done. What's next?
Plant the seed. Can't water it if we haven't planted it.
Stay here. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh.
Now, where did you put them? Ah, here they are. You always said you wanted to plant these seeds and make a new garden, Milius. I think it's about time.
What? What was that for?
What did you bring?
Do you remember Milius? A kind man with a warm smile. Well, he told me to give you this.
Wow.
Now we just have to wait.
All right.
Oh, now we water it, actually.
How long?
Too long for us to keep sitting here.
That long.
Some things take time. And only with patience will you receive your reward.
Why do we have to do all these things if all we had to do is wait?
Simply waiting would not have been enough, Jonathan. You just paved the way for things to take their course. They are happening right now. And in a few days' time, we will return and see the first green leaf of something new.
Oh. Is it God's reward?
Maybe.
Does he make things grow?
You made it.
No. I just planted the seed.
Now we water. There we go. Slightly worried we weren't going to do that.
Now you can fetch some water from the rain barrel.
But that water's smelly. It's been there forever. There are many trees by the river. I bet that water's better.
That's a longer walk, though.
I don't mind. The distance is worth it.
Maybe you're right. It is worth it. Let's walk together, then.
But I'll carry the bucket.
My experience with children, the prior's going to end up carrying the bucket back.
Why isn't Remigius holding the sermon? What's gotten into Philip?
Our church lies in ruins. But all of this, these dire times, have revealed something important to us. Something that, maybe until today, I wasn't aware of.
What do you mean?
They don't need a church. Yeah, there we go.
You've been praying in these ruins. But you've been praying like you always did, in humbleness.
Humility.
We don't need a church for prayer.
Where else are we going to pray? The chapter house?
The church is where God resides.
God doesn't work in the ways we might assume.
1 Kings 8.
Today, Jonathan tended to our garden to make it beautiful again. And he told me of things I almost had forgotten. Good and evil are not in here or out there. They are within each of us.
Whoa! Whoa! Right, let's unpack some of the stuff that's been kind of talked about. This is the house of God. So 1 Kings 8, Solomon builds the temple, and he asks the question, can God actually live in a building? Like, he's bigger than the heavens don't contain him, the world doesn't contain him. And this final bit of, like, good and evil, they're not out there, they're not in here, as in the church building and out there. There's a passage in Romans where Paul writes about, you know, the war between the spirit and the flesh within ourselves. So the flesh as in kind of like the sinful nature. It's like, and he goes, the good I want to do, I don't do. But the evil I don't want to do, that I do. I don't think... Like, neither of these, I don't think are particularly biblical. Man is not God, but man is also not the devil. The devil is a particular person. If you're saying man is good, man is evil, what do you mean by good? What do you mean by evil? Man is fallen. Like, there's elements of both, but I don't like either of these. I kind of come back to the point of wanting to have what he's going to say written. Because neither of these is right, and I don't think Prior Philip would say either of these things. The fact it says is, I don't. Okay, I'm going to say is the devil, which I don't think is right. It's going to be really depressing and angry what he says, isn't it?
We have witnessed that man carries the devil in his heart. But even before he can take a hold of man, God is born within us, as we were created in his image. Prayer needs no special
that was fine.
place, for we are his church. In our actions, he exists.
We are God's temple.
We're being built together.
No man is closer to God than any other man. Whether you pray in church or on the streets of our towns, whether you're a man, woman, monk, or bishop.
Philip, look outside! You have to see them. You've got to see the horses and the colours.
Jonathan.
Someone who occasionally preaches, I kind of want to be like, no, I've got to finish my sermon. But, like, horses and colours... I mean, the last time there were horses here, we were in trouble. Let's find out what's going on. I'm kind of slightly annoyed, because the way they worded things, it was really... I wonder if it just changed the order that he says it. But yeah. I'm also slightly annoyed. It's like, he's not... You'd think he would say something like, where did Jesus pray? Jesus doesn't just pray in the temple. He prays in a garden on a hill. The Garden of Gethsemane. He prays on the cross as he's dying. They're not in the temple. Right, well, listen to Jonathan.
Now, what's going on?
I heard noises and I went to look.
Calm down. What happened?
But the priest said they brought a miracle.
Who? What? What priest?
Yeah, we...
Step right up, brothers and sisters. For you are about to see something that will change your life.
Is this the jongleur?
Who is that?
They brought us a miracle.
A miracle?
Don't be shy. There is no danger, just awe that awaits you here. Ah,
Oh no.
you must be Prior Philip. I am Brother Reynold. I have been sent by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Here is his letter, in case you have reasonable doubts.
Okay. I mean, I know that we've interacted with them before, but I do like the kind of attempt at hiding Jack and Aliena, but we do know them. Philip of Kingsbridge, I hereby implore you to accept the grace of the Weeping Madonna, for she has chosen Kingsbridge as her shrine. After the rumours of a miracle had come to my ears, I had called for the procession to see me. I then saw it with my own eyes. She is real. I have claimed the miracle for England and had intended to retain her in Winchester. Winchester, of course, was for a long time used as the capital in England. In Le Morte d'Arthur and... Did Chrétien de Troyes mention it? I know it mentions Winchester, but it's mentioned Camelot, which is now called Winchester. Ooh, flip. I've just hit my microphone. I'm really sorry. So I quite like that. So yeah, it was used as the capital, which is why the Archbishop of Canterbury is talking about having it retained there. The Guardians of the Madonna have convinced me otherwise. They have come to England only to support the rebuilding of Kingsbridge. You have my blessings, Philip of Kingsbridge. I expect you to restore your priory to be worthy of the Holy Madonna. Theobald, Archbishop of Canterbury. So who's Bishop Henry? I thought he was the Archbishop of Canterbury, because he's in the big fancy everything. And Bishop Walerin's just whatever. I don't know.
We've been charged to accompany the Weeping Madonna. She is to replace the loss of your relic, Saint Adolphus the Martyr, who was taken from you, I hear, with brute force.
What?
On her travel from far away Africa, she has collected donations to reward Kingsbridge for your faith in her and in the Lord.
I can't believe this. What is all this?
You do believe. That is why she came. And that is why you shall witness her miracle for yourself today. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian. And I and the custodians of the Holy Virgin were chosen to take her on a journey.
Baptized?
A Saracen?
What country did you say you came from?
We have traveled all the way from a place of wonders too marvelous to behold. The faraway land of Africa.
Africa has many countries, I've heard.
Yes, it does.
We're from one of them.
I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me.
What's it like in Africa?
The sun is always shining, and miracles happen every day. It's a land of great deserts, fig trees, and creatures that an Englishman can't even dream up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like these horses. Are they horses?
They are not. To you, they might resemble horses, but the name the Africans have for these creatures is impossible to pronounce, even for me.